Hey everybody, and welcome to The Musician's Musician. I am your host, Nick Costa, and today's episode is a fun one. I got to talk with my old friend and collaborator, August Ogren. And before I tell you all about August, I just wanted to give an update about the pre-order campaign for my new record. As of right now, we're at about 62% of the goal, which is great. We're just looking to get $3,500. So if you are a vinyl head and you are looking for some great tunes, or if you're just looking for like a cool t-shirt, or you want to snag a download of the album when it's available, consider going and grabbing that. The link will be in the description of the episode, but you can also go to igg.me/at/WTLGO. So that's igg.me/@/WTLGO, or When the Lights Go Out, which is the name of the album. Or you can go to my Instagram page, which is at Nick Costa, NickCostduh, and you can hop on the train there. I need all the help I can get for this. It's a really great album. I'm very, very proud of it. I think it'll be even better to listen to it on vinyl. And so your contribution will be able to help with that. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about August. You may have heard August work with such artists as Tame Impala, Ondara, Humbird, Rowan. If you've heard my tunes, he mixed my third record, Sunbleach, and he also produced and played drums on my second record, Tell My Mother I Love Her. Years and years and years ago, August hit me up randomly on Facebook Messenger just to say he was interested in working together, and he'd give me a free day at the studio if we wanted to just kind of try it out. I had a batch of songs I was looking to record, so I figured why not? And him and I just got along right away. What happened very shortly after that was the record Tell My Mother I Love Her. After that, August started working at the Terrarium, which is an incredible studio in Northeast Minneapolis, and now he's kind of hopped across the pond to Ireland, where he continues to work with really incredible musicians, one of which I'll be talking to for next week's episode. We talked about Tom Petty on this episode, which is a huge influence when we were making our records together. So it was kind of fun to kind of crack back into that and explore his history with Tom Petty a little more, and let us not forget about the Heartbreakers. So with all of that, let's get into it.
So long to gold records, here's a gold star, some credit to show you how talented you are. So long to chart stoppers, for some they're heart stoppers, they'll never get played at all. They're not making records for dancing after all.
Oh, sick. There we go. All right. Well, I am here with August Ogren. August, thank you for being a musician's musician.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk about a really dense subject. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
With Tom Petty and his fellow Heartbreakers. But before we dive into that, what is new in the world of August? Like, what are you up to?
Well, I live in Ireland now. I live in Dublin.
Yeah.
We've been here for almost 3 years.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like,
that is wild to think about.
Yeah. I last saw you 5 years ago, and you moved to LA. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years after that, I moved to Dublin.
Wow.
I mean, they weren't related, obviously, but like,
no, it's like, well, I'm out of here.
Yeah, right. I can't be in the same country as Nick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's been 3 years here, which is wild to think about. And yeah, I mean, judging on how things in America are going, we'll be here for ever. You know?
Yeah. Probably a good call.
Yeah. But it's been good. Like I still record and mix and produce music, and it's my first time kind of renting studios as I need them, opposed to like having my own home base.
Sure.
Which has been kind of a fun challenge, actually, because, well, it's like pros and cons, but I can, you know, go to a different studio depending on the budget or like what we're doing. And I get to like learn different rooms really quickly, which is fun.
I was going to say you're kind of forced to like pick up on every different room. Sorry about the police helicopter. We are in America over here, so
yeah, right. You might hear some seagulls on my side.
Oh gosh, it's the Irish police helicopter.
Yeah.
But
So
you're like kind of forced to like, you know, figure out the sound of a room kind of very, very fast.
Yeah. And some studios will have like an assistant, which is like a godsend because I don't like walking into a room and there's a client, especially like a new client, and I'm walking to a studio I've never been to before. Like that's pretty nerve wracking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so far it's been great. And then in the last like 6 or 8 months or so, I've been helping a friend finish his studio just outside of Dublin.
Oh, cool.
About 30 minutes outside Dublin. So I will be like moving in to there.
Awesome.
In a couple months or so.
So you'll have a home base again.
I will have a home base, which will feel nice. And like, as fun as it was to like be in these different studios, I'm excited to like have I know where microphones are and like,
Yeah. You don't need to like tune
ask someone. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, hey, where are the DI boxes? Like, oh, I just know where they are.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
You have a name for it yet?
Yeah. It's called Art House.
Art House. Rad.
Like the old film cinemas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever you're in Ireland,
hopefully soon.
We'll check it out.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the town it's in is called Naas, Naas. And it's a very cute little town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So when you come, we'll do the Dublin thing, then we'll do the Naas thing, and then we'll drive around the country and see pretty things. That's what's new.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's awesome. Well, on that note, why don't we dive in to Tom Petty, T-Pets.
TP.
The Teddy Petty. So do you remember the first time that you heard Tom Petty?
No.
Okay.
But I'm...
Or do you have like a memory that's like an early memory that's attached to his music?
Yeah, so I'm sure I heard Free Fallin' on the radio because that was huge.
Yeah.
But then there's a CD in my car. My dad and I shared a car in high school. Or like early part of high school, we shared a car. And there was Damn the Torpedoes CD in the car. And so that was like my first experience, like actually sitting down and like enjoying it, you know, opposed to like just being on the radio and be like a passive thing. And I was thinking about it, and I think that was like, so that was in high school, and I had high school bands, and I was like kind of getting into recording. Like we had this little like music room. It was like above a detached garage.
Okay.
And my dad's also a musician. He's a great musician. So we had a little studio there, and I was just kind of like recording my high school bands and like my middle school bands, with just like 2 57s as like room mics, you know, and like wondering why it didn't sound like, you know, Tom Petty. But like listening to that record, it was like my first experience of like, wow, this like sounds great. Whereas before it was more like, I just wasn't thinking about how it sounded. It was all like the emotional, which is like equally important, but it was all just like, wow, like this Jimmy Eat World record makes me feel like amped.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I didn't think about why it sounded that way. But yeah, like Damn the Torpedoes in my Kia Optima sounded amazing. And it still holds up as like one of the better sounding records of that time. Like, it sounds pretty incredible.
Yeah. It's weird to think that record it was released in like 1978, I think. Like it was still
Yeah,
the
78,
70s.
79. Yeah.
Yeah. And like when I think of the 70s, I don't think of like that sound. That sounds like very ahead of its time.
And like the drums in particular, the snare sounds like, doesn't quite sound like the big gated reverbs of the 80s, but it sounded like it was on its way there.
Yeah.
You know, like just kind of like, and then in the 80s it was like, you know, like it was like the decay was longer in the 80s.
Yes.
Anyway, so it was definitely like probably one of the better sounding records to come out of that time. And of course I like, have you seen the documentary?
Oh yeah.
It's 4 hours long. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's Running Down the Dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
I rewatched it as homework for this.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's so good. That's one of the better music docs, I think.
And it's such a, like it's the rock star cliche of, we got this band, we have a demo, we're going to drive to LA and like get a record deal. I mean, it happened. Like,
right. Yeah.
What they did.
They just literally drove to Los Angeles and just walked into record companies and just like, this is our record.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
And someone's like, yeah, okay. It was insane.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if I just like walked into a record label out
You'd
here.
just be arrested. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they just escort me off the premises.
Yeah. Did you ever do that with your bands? Like reach out to record labels in high school and stuff?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. The only one I ever heard back from was Drive Through Records.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But like that dude's
like a nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like I reached out to Richard from Drive Through Records and and all of a sudden one day I got an AIM message from him. Because I put like my AIM screen name or in like whatever I sent him. And so he reached out and he's like, hey, yeah, I listened to your stuff. I'm going to be in Minneapolis on like this day. So like, why don't you guys come to my hotel and like you guys can walk on my back and I'll like listen to you.
What?
And and that was like my response was like, what? Wait, we can what? And so I was like, you want us to like walk, like literally walk on your back? He's like, yeah, like it feels good. And I like that. And I was just like, oh never mind.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're good. But I guess that was like a thing he did to like a lot of people. It was like really,
gross.
It was really gross just to like ask a bunch of 15-year-olds to come to your hotel room. But anyway,
those people.
Did you ever reach out to labels?
Yeah. I don't think any of them wrote back, but like Sub Pop was, I was like, Sub Pop, the one to get, you know.
I think still like that's like a
probably
label. Yeah. Yeah.
There's probably more. Probably like Sony.
Yeah. Yeah. You had major label.
Offices at SonyGmail.com or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some really vague
at
email
AOL.
address. Yeah.
Yeah. A&R Reprise Records at AOL.com.
Yeah. Sony junk mail at.
Yeah. But yeah, it is wild that they did. That's how they got it.
Just walked in. Yeah.
They just walked in and they were just good enough and they had the audacity.
Yeah. And I'm so glad I rewatched this documentary because I relearned so much stuff. But so they got this deal. And then they told Tom Petty's like, oh yeah, we actually just want you and you should fire the band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so then, I mean, obviously that was like awkward. Mm-hmm. And then something happened where he got some of his players back to make the first record. Yeah, can't remember.
Yeah.
But then they're like, they did world tours in Europe, and it was just like it all came to them like super easily.
It's so weird. No, I love how kind of every time Tom was like either like asked to go solo or decided that he was going to go solo, he was like, yeah, sure, but I need Mike on it.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really a drummer like you, and then he just all of a sudden just assembles the Heartbreakers again.
Yeah, his Tom Petty records, his solo records are just Heartbreaker records.
Yeah. Like Wildflowers, you know, he was like, I really want to make a solo record, guys. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, everybody's going to be on it, except I think they replaced the drummer for that. But then that drummer ended up being the drummer for the Heartbreakers anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, that's the sound, man.
Yeah, I do really like I think most of my favorite Tom Petty songs are actually like his technically solo ones. Mm-hmm. Like Wildflowers is awesome, and then what is it? Full Moon Fever is
Full
the one
Moon
with
Fever, man,
with all the hits on it. Like every song is a hit.
Let us not
sorry.
Sully the name of Damn the Torpedoes. No. I mean, like, I want to talk about all of it. But like, Damn the Torpedoes, I was listening to it. I walked the dog this morning, and I popped it on, and that one is also just hit after hit after hit. And I feel like the next one that he did that was like that was Full Moon Fever.
Probably. I think there was a couple duds in between. And then I think there was a lot of time spent between records too.
It was 10 years between.
Wow. From Damn the Torpedoes to Full Moon Fever. Yeah.
Hard Promises is a good one. But it has like a couple stinkers.
I need to look up. I need to double check.
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up right now. Hard Promises is the one like right after Damn the Torpedoes. That has the Waiting. That starts with the Waiting.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And like, but like then there's also like Night Watchman, which is such a weird song. Long After Dark is a pretty good one, but there's not like a lot of hits on it. It's like a double. It's like a double record. I feel like. No, it's not. That's just a single. But it's just like I feel like that one's just all right. You know.
Yeah, there is. Let me get to this.
Then you got Southern Accents.
Oh yeah.
The song Southern Accents is one of my favorite Tom Petty songs.
Yeah, that's great.
But the album itself has a couple duds, I feel like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Tom Petty records that I kind of just skim over, and Southern Accents, I don't think I've given a full listen. Let Me Up is a weird one too. Mm-hmm.
Let Me Up is I think even in the documentary, they talk about how that was such a weird record for them. Like they're just like, no, that one's kind of
yeah. There's that one song. What song is it? There's one song where there's a music video of it's like a Alice in Wonderland themed thing. Oh,
isn't that Free Falling? No.
No, he's also wearing the top hat.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll look it up.
I can't remember.
Don't Come Around Here No More, which is on which I love that song. That's on Into the Great Wide Open, I think.
Oh, maybe I'm mixing these up.
Oh wait, no, it's not.
Wasn't there one?
Which ones don't come around here? This is like the best podcast.
This is great. We definitely know what we're talking about.
He just has so many records. It's like hard to keep. Yeah, that might be a solo. That I think I'm looking under Heartbreakers. I think that's a solo thing.
Oh, maybe right.
Don't come around here no more.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's on Southern Accents.
Oh, the one the album before. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the song before Southern Accents. The front half of Southern Accents is really good. Like Rebels is a great song.
Yeah.
Don't Come Around Here No More, Southern Accents. I mean, it's really not that bad of a record. It's just kind of like a weird. He gets like. I heard somebody describe this in the case of Weezer, but like it also applies for Tom Petty. I feel like where like he has his tough guy songs.
Yeah.
Like for Weezer, that would be like Hash Pipe. It's like their tough guy side of Weezer, you know?
Yeah, we smoke weed. We're cool.
Yeah. And like, and like, this is like a heavy, the guitars are heavy and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, Tom Petty does that every now and then. Like Wildflowers has Honeybee.
Mm-hmm.
And like, those are usually the ones that take me out of it, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Whenever there's a Tom Petty record on, I'm like, no, okay.
I feel that way about, this may be controversial, is Last Dance with Mary Jane. I'm not a huge fan of that song.
Oh, okay.
I think, like, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. It's a weird in-between of a ballad and, you know...
Tough guy.
Yeah. And I could be... I used to work for this cover band that played it, and that might be some psychological trauma.
I was just going to say, any musician who has had to do cover shows for like any extended amount of time has like this deep-seated resentment for that song.
I just throw up every time I hear it.
Yeah. No, it's the same for me. There's like a handful of songs where like I'm aware that they're good songs, but like I played them in cover bands for so many years where I'm just like, I can't. It takes me back to TGI Fridays when I was playing
You were allowed to play at TGI Fridays?
I had a friend who had a hookup at the TGI Fridays next to the Mall of America, and we would play every Tuesday night, I want to say, from like 11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
When there's no one there.
No, it got packed.
Really?
Yes. And like we would get tips, and like it was like a weirdly good show, and it paid well. Otherwise I never would have agreed to do it, but like it was like, yeah, you go to TGI Fridays after your shift at the Mall of America, and you listen to these two guys play Tom Petty. And it was,
I mean, I'd do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were playing Tom Petty in TGI Fridays, I would show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We played a lot of Tom Petty. I feel like there's a lot of Tom Petty songs that are just like, they have to be in the catalog for a cover band, you know?
Free Fallin'.
There's
Last Dance.
Yeah. And then, what else did we do? We did Won't Back Down.
Oh yeah.
But let me get to the point. Let's roll another joint.
Yeah.
You don't know how it feels.
Yeah.
That one was like another one. That's a similar one to Last Dance with Mary Jane for me now, where like I know that's a good song.
Yeah.
But I can't listen to that recreationally anymore.
Yeah.
It's ruined.
It's been tainted by TGI Fridays. Half-price apps, man.
Oh man. Don't even get me started on the wing orders.
But back to the Damn the Torpedoes. There's a couple ones, like, I like pretty much all these songs. Mm-hmm. I'm not huge on Century City.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but that one just feels a bit weird to me. And maybe
is a little weird.
Can I play a little bit? Do you have to edit it if I play it?
I do, but you're more than welcome to play.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has that like train kind of thing to it.
Yeah,
and that's weird to me. Like that doesn't feel like a Tom Petty song.
No. Yeah, that when I was on my walk this morning listening to it again, I was like, yeah, that one. That's a skip. That's a skip for me. But the thing with Tom Petty though is that like when he hits so hard. Like there is like his good songs are better than anybody's.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. There's not a lot of people who have records like his where it's just like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song too. And it's just like, oh, all of these were hits.
Yeah. He's one of those people, or he was one of those people who, could play 3.5 hours and every song. Mm-hmm. And like, there's probably only, I don't know, like a couple hundred people ever that, maybe not even that could do that.
Yeah.
To these legacy artists, that can fill a stadium and play 3 hours and you can sing along to every song.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like you have like Paul McCartney is like in the same, like there's like Goliaths.
Yeah. Springsteen, Neil Young, Bob Dylan. And then.
Although I think both Neil Young and Bob Dylan have been criticized because you go to see them and then you're just like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know any of these songs because they love playing deep cuts, which I respect immensely.
Did you see that Dylan biopic recently?
I've been like saving it.
Oh, it's good. It's great. Like,
but I've only heard really fantastic things. Even like there's one of our guests that is also like one of my favorite songwriters ever, Richard Edwards, who's like a movie buff. And he was very adamant about like, this is going to be like the shittiest movie. And then he watched it and he was like, I guess it's all right. So
you know what
if he cracked on it, then it's probably pretty good.
Yeah. I'm just noticing the records behind you, actually.
I got them.
Yeah.
I got a few.
Damn the Torpedoes, Wildflowers, and Southern Accents. Yeah.
Southern Accents. And then over there is Hard Promises.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's only a couple. That's just like what I had room to display. But I have. Yeah. I went on like a weird Tom Petty buying spree, but I still don't. I don't have Full Moon Fever. I couldn't ever find it.
Yeah, that's probably hard to get. Yeah,
it's a tough one to find. Which I mean, the other ones weren't. But
do they still print them?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like that's where the money is at the moment. Is pressing vinyl. So
$25 vinyl.
If you're lucky.
Really? Is it more than that?
Dude, I went to Amoeba not too long ago, and I mean, like, I even remember like a year ago, I used to go there, and like, if I had, $150, I could get a huge stack. But like, I got one record, and it was $40.
Wow!
I was like, what is happening? Like, that is nuts. So
was it rare or just like a new print?
No, it was a 3-disc live album. It was the Fleet Foxes live album.
Oh yeah.
But like even that, like that's wild.
Yeah.
And that's like pretty common. Like there's a lot of just like single records now that are like $30.
Yeah. You could eat half a meal for $40 in LA.
Yeah, that's true. Well, not if you choose wisely.
Yeah. You can get a few burritos for $40.
Yeah. So,
I don't know what we were talking about, but we were talking about the songs we didn't like.
We kind of were talking about the songs we didn't like, but what?
Maybe we should talk about the songs I do like. My favorite songs on this record. I think my favorite might be Even the Losers. Mm-hmm. Here Comes My Girl.
Ugh, I mean,
Don't Do Me Like That.
It's again,
Refugee.
It's like the whole album, except for Century City. I feel like people love Century City. It's kind of a skip for me.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, yeah, starting with Refugee.
Great.
That's kind of one of those songs. Did you ever play like that Hurdle thing? It was like Wordle, but for music.
No.
There's one.
Is this a new thing?
No, not anymore. But like, it was when Wordle was like kind of blowing up, and then somebody made a Hurdle where you'll pick like a random song, and then like,
I've heard of this actually.
Yeah, you get like 1 second, then you get 2 seconds, then you get 3, and like the first they had Refugee one day, and it's just the first snare hit, just the bah.
Yeah.
Like, and then it goes into it or whatever. And I got that so fast just from that single snare hit, because I'm just like, oh, that's Refugee.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unique.
Yeah.
That, like, I don't know, there's nothing else it could be. Just those drum sounds.
Did this is a little bit off topic, but they can't use the original songs, right?
Oh, yeah.
They have to, really?
Yeah, they get it from Spotify. So it's still like a streaming, still a stream.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something else. So my brother-in-law was playing this thing that it plays you like basically stems of the song.
Yes.
And then
there's another one.
If you get it wrong, it adds like the bass line.
Yeah.
But there's no way they have access to all that. Like,
no, it's all like really shitty, like
MIDI re-recorded stuff.
Yeah. It's like it sounds like how you have the Aladdin soundtrack or something like that from the Disney movie, but then you play the Aladdin video game for Sega, and they just it's what it sounds like. It's great. It's
the rights-free or cheap version of it.
The Casio keyboard bass setting, you know. Yeah, it's pretty great.
It'd be funny if it was like Refugee was the answer, but then actually the correct answer was just shitty Refugee.
Right.
Like shittier even the loser.
Yeah, radio edit.
Yeah. But
I was going to ask, like, and I think you kind of answered it a little bit, but I just want to clarify a little. You picked Damn the Torpedoes out of all of the Tom Petty records. Like, why that one? Like, what resonated about this one for you?
Well, I think it was because it was my first. It was the first Tom Petty record I heard, like, or like could replay over and over again. And I think it just sounds incredible. Like, I was so enthralled with the way it sounded, and the other records obviously sound good too, but something about this one was like inspiring to like find out how they did it and like, go deeper.
Is there any like recording techniques from this kind of thing that you've taken or something?
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have taken these.
Oh, I didn't mean to say taken so much, but like have inspired you to have a different process or something.
So, I mean, the recording of this record was so like, it was peak, $1 million record. It was the time of like $1 million albums, and like recording budgets were just insane. And I think they spent like over a week on drum sounds.
Oh my God.
Like you could, like, I don't know, that'd be like 50 grand of, oh yeah, we got our drum sounds. Cool. And they went through, they bought a bunch of drums. They tried out a bunch of drums. They tried a bunch of microphones, drum heads. Like, they just did every possible combination you could think of because they had the time.
Yeah. And
they had the money to burn. So as important as like the recording techniques were, maybe more importantly was like spending the time to get the sound from the source, and like making sure the drum kit itself sounded amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't remember like the drums they used, but they would experiment with like drum risers. So this was done at Sound City. So there's a huge live room, Nevermind was done there, and a million other records. So they would do the drums on the floor and be like, let's try it on the drum riser, tear it all down, put it in basically a stage, set up the drums again and be like, yeah, okay, let's try that. And that really controls the sound of the drums and makes it a lot more like, I don't know, punchy and directional, possibly.
Sure.
Whereas if they're on the floor, kind of diffuses and spreads out the sound of the drums a little bit more.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so they had the luxury to experiment, and I think in the documentary they talk about how, and they're doing this all like live. Everyone's in the room, and I think they did like 150 takes of Refugee.
Oh my god!
It's like, okay, we're gonna play one song for 10 days, or more than 10 days.
Yeah.
Just to get it absolutely perfect.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I would hate that song.
Yeah.
If I was in the band.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe you played it in a cover band, but like they played it 150 times back to back.
Just to get the to get the recording, and then they got a tour on it.
Yeah, exactly. So I just found that super interesting. And I'd be surprised if every song took that long. But maybe they knew that was going to be the opener and they just really wanted to like dial it in. Mm-hmm. But then also, so they were in a lawsuit with their label at the time, and over like publishing rights or something like that. I think the label they were on had been sold to someone else, and there was just, I don't know, there's some lawsuit going on. So the label said, oh yeah, you can record this album, but like we own, we own everything while this lawsuit's going on. Like, like we own the tapes that you're recording on. So what they would do is like, they wrote a fake band name on the tapes. And then at the end of the day, like every single day of being in the studio, they would take the tapes out of the studio. And then someone would like hide them in their house. So then if the label came to the studio looking for them, not only are they just not there, but like they would have a different band name on them.
Right.
And then the next morning they'd bring them back in and continue working on the record. It's like,
that's so funny.
I don't know, like it's a bit of a rebellion record. And they actually named the record Damn the Torpedoes after like the shit they're going through with the record.
With the label. Yeah.
Yeah. So like all that lore is really interesting to me.
Yeah, for sure. It's
and it was
oh, go
ahead. Jimmy Iovine produced it.
Yep.
Shelly Yakis was the engineer. And I think so they hired Jimmy Iovine to be the engineer and producer, and then they're just going to use some engineer at the studio. And then without telling anyone, without even telling Shelly Yakis, he brought him in to be the engineer. So like even the band didn't realize what Shelly Yakis was doing there.
Sure.
just like brought in someone else.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I don't know. It's funny.
There's a lot of really funny stuff, I think, with a lot of their studio time, I think. Like, there's so many stories about, like, band conflict, in the studio or something like that. Or one of my favorites was, like, they were having a rough time personally, I think, for a little while with their, and like their bass player was like having a pretty tough go of it.
Oh yeah. He died. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a rough time, he had struggling with addiction and stuff, but, like they were all kind of upset, I think, cause Tom wanted to do a solo thing.
Yeah.
I think it might've been when they were doing Full Moon Fever. But then, like, he was doing the Tom Petty thing where he's bringing in all the Heartbreakers independently to, it's like, oh, I need a bass player. So he brings them in and they're listening to this song and bass player's just being grumpy. He's just like, we're about ready to get some bass on this. He's just like, oh, okay, well, I don't like this song. He's like, okay, well, if you don't like it, then like, you don't need to play on it. He's like, fine, good. And he walked out and the song was Free Falling.
like the biggest hit, like to date of Tom Petty. Yeah.
I love the way that he tells it too is just like the song is free falling.
Yeah.
That's the one that he didn't like.
I mean, it goes to show you never really know what you're working on. Like you could be working on the best song ever in the history of the world, but like being too close to it, sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you just have no idea.
Yeah. I mean,
plus if you have an ego, maybe that doesn't help either, but
sure. And like, you know, if you're grumpy about a different thing, it's probably called out the way that you're looking at the session, or, you know.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I feel like I've done sessions where like personally there was like something happening in that time. And like, I remember recording it, like not in the most fond, like I don't have the most fond memories of recording it, but then I'll go back and listen to it and be like, yeah, no, that sounds good though.
Yeah.
Like, it took me a while to listen to it, but when I did, like I actually do like it.
Yeah. I'm one of the engineers at the Terrarium, Jacques Waits. He said something that was super profound, and I keep thinking of it. He's all about, you know, showing up, making decisions in the studio, committing to ideas, and not having the idea of like, oh, just fix it in the mix, or like, I'll just edit it to make it better or whatever. Yeah. He's all about like, you know, everyone has a decision and we made that decision and then we can move on to the next day and then whatever. But he said to me once, like we were listening to like songs we've worked on, and he was playing one of his songs, and he said like, he's like, oh, like, I'm surprised I made that decision that day. There's no regret. It was just like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. You know? Yeah. Just because the most, like, that's a great outlook to have when you're recording music, because it's permanent, I guess, but like, just write another song. Like, like
sure. I'm surprised I made that decision that day. That's really good. Just speaking of recording and stuff like that, I remember very vividly kind of the moment where I decided that I wanted to investigate Tom Petty a little further. Like I liked the hits and stuff like that, but like I don't think I'd listened to like a full Tom Petty record. And it was actually when we were making Tell My Mother I Love Her. And like it was like our second session or something like that, our third session. And it was really cold, I remember, but they had just put out like a best of, or like a B-sides thing of Tom Petty. Yeah.
Was that like kind of farewell song he wrote?
Yeah, it was oh God, what is it? This is for real.
Yeah.
I would have done it for free. I did it for me.
I love that song.
Yeah, it like had just came out that day. And I remember walking into the studio and you just being like, we need to listen to this. and you put it on and we were just like silent and we just listened to that song. And I feel like both of us, I don't think we said it out loud, but I feel like once the song finished, like we both had an understanding, like this is the goal for the record. Like this is what it should sound like.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we did like Hot Feelings that day or something like that. And it does have that vibe.
Yeah. I hear that.
A lot of that record kind of has that vibe, I think. Like, very like raw.
Yeah.
And honest and heavy, I guess, kind of, you know.
I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of forgot about it, but that is one of my favorite Tom Petty songs. And I don't know when it was recorded, but it wasn't like right before he died. It was just like
he'd had it around for a while.
Yeah. It just didn't make it onto some album. But it's so good. It's such a great, like, farewell. You know, like Bowie did an amazing farewell record.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's very much like I don't know. He's explaining why he did music,
Right.
and there's no profound answer. Just like, I had to do it. You know, like that's what I had to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and I think that's I don't know. People forget that a lot, I think.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the song's called For Real, and it's on the Best of Everything.
Okay. Wow.
So it's like a 2-disc best of,
Okay.
but that also includes like Mudcrutch songs and
Oh, okay.
like the Stevie Nicks "Stop Dragging My Heart Around," and
Yeah.
there's a lot of. It's a 2.5 hour compilation, but then it ends with that like quote unquote new song.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just so like, I remember being so inspired by that because it was just like, I think I was going through like kind of a weird time in my life. And like that song and the meaning behind it was just like, I just do it because I want to. And I do it for me.
Yeah.
And like, that's such a beautiful sentiment, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
And people
it's just
like, it's not, I think people want to do this because they want to even play to like full rooms of people is a lot to ask out of this industry. So like, if you can just boil it down to be like, why you actually want to do this.
Yeah.
It's because like, you just want to like put something out there and like make a song, write a song. Like,
right.
that's all you should really be asking. And then all the other stuff is like fun, right? Like,
yeah.
having a band with your friends and like touring around in a van, that's fun. But like, the reason should be because you need an outlet and you need to like, I don't know,
The creation of the art.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, is more important. The part that really, I think I got goosebumps, but is like, well, a lot of the song gave me goosebumps, but when he said like, I would have done it for free.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, oh,
like,
yeah.
And we've all done it for free. You know, like,
oh boy, I'm still doing it for free.
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe it's always free. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's actually interesting though, because that's one thing that I've kind of learned from being in this industry and working with artists of like all different, like in all different parts of their career, right? Like people who are just starting out and people who are very well established and people who have label backing and stuff like that. Is like there's not a lot of difference between any of those artists. Like they're all the same, right? I've worked with like some really talented people who don't like, you know, they're unsure of themselves and you know, don't know if their songs are any good, and but they do this because they love it so much. And then there's also the people who have like, you know, crazy money behind them, and then they're like not as talented, and they kind of rely on everybody else to like get the work done, and like it's just like a thing they have to do to fulfill a contract or something like that, which is like, it's weird to see that juxtaposition between the two. There's also obviously like, you know, people who are on the label end, like the highly successful end of the spectrum, who also love it, like Tom Petty or something like that, you know. But like, it's weird to think that like you build up these artists to be like this kind of monolith when they're that big, and then when you break it down and you actually like sit and talk with them for a second, you realize like, oh, that's just like a person. And they're just making their little songs just the way, just the same exact way that you would make your little songs.
If he could, I'm sure he'd be happy playing in a garage in a house show. You know, like, it's weird how this business, I mean, it's like, it's hardly a business, but like, it's this, it's like, it's this thing, this art thing. And then we somehow have found a way, not very successfully, to like attach commerce to it, and like it doesn't work most of the time.
No,
that way, you know.
No, yeah. And I think we're kind of like sold this idea, you know, you make music to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you should be making music, is because, you know, you need to play stadiums. You need to sell 1 million records and there's all this stuff. But like at the end of the day, the passion should be behind making the music.
Yeah. We're home for the holidays, and my wife's family lives in like Portland, Oregon area.
Sure.
And someone was asking me about like what I do, and then they want to see like, they're like, oh, do you have something on YouTube? And I was like, okay, whatever. So then they obviously want to watch something on YouTube, and like something I've worked on YouTube. And there's this ad, there's this YouTube that plays it for it, and they said something like, oh, there's an ad in front. That must mean a lot of people listen to it. It's like, wait, so what you categorize as like success is like, oh, someone has monetized this, you know, like, I don't know. That's just kind of a weird feeling for me. It's like, oh, other people view success in this industry as the monetary, like, value of stuff. Yeah. And it's I mean, I guess other industries work that way, but it's just kind of a weird thing to think about.
It's people don't, I mean, like, it's a weird thing. It's a weird type of art form, right? Because, you know, I feel like with like a painter, you measure their success by like how good the painting turns out. Mm-hmm. But with music, it's how many followers on Instagram do they have? You know, it's
how many streams. Yeah.
How many streams? How many records have they sold? How many are they?
How many cents have you made this month? Yeah.
Right. And you're at that point, like you're measuring the success, and you're not even listening to the music yet at that point. Like you're not even, you're not hearing a single note before you're judging the success of this artist, you know? Whereas like
stats,
just listen to the song and then make your judgment from that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's easy. Like we all fall into that trap. Mm-hmm. And without social media, like when Tom Petty was driving to LA to get a record deal,
right?
That was the only thing in the way, was the music, and the record exec had to hear the music and look them in the face and say like, yes or no. Right. And like now there's so many hoops to jump through before you even get it in front of someone.
Right.
And those hoops are like, you know, like how many followers, like, can you post every day? Like, it's just like,
are you on a Spotify algorithmic playlist? Are you?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's discouraging. It's really tough.
Yeah, totally.
And especially like, you know, if you are an artist and you're making it for the art, to put it out and then to have all these like measurements of success surrounding it, it's hard to not buy into it and not place that like quote unquote value onto your art form.
Yeah.
Because like you're not seeing what we define as success.
Yeah. And you know, low streams is a rejection. High streams is like acceptance, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is random, and most of the time, like, I mean, irrelevant.
Yeah. And like, frankly, like those numbers mean nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Like I put out 2 instrumental records, and one of them got like 300,000 plays, like just an insane amount of plays. And I made that, like, I love those records. I had a lot of fun making them. I think it was very therapeutic to make those, but like, like, frankly, I don't consider those to be like a record that I made. Those were just kind of like a fun, whatever thing. But like the actual art that I love and I like put everything behind and I put out, like, it's not getting anywhere near those amounts of streams. I don't measure the ones that got all the streams to be like my successful records.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming up to me and being like, oh man, really love that one song with no words that you put out. Like nobody's saying that.
I slept so hard to that song.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, oh man, I put that on my study playlist and I learned things really hard.
Yeah. I listened to that song 300,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know like where that was going, but that's just some, I don't know.
No, I
complaining
mean
about-
that he wrote a song about it.
Oh, right. Yeah, Tom Petty.
Yeah. So, right, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that was great.
Well, we're just about at the end of our time.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
But before we go, I do want to ask if you could pick a top 3 Tom Petty records. What are your top 3?
Oh, records?
Yeah.
Damn the Torpedoes.
Okay.
Full Moon Fever. Wildflowers, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
I do really like the soundtrack he wrote too. She's the One.
yeah.
We didn't touch on that, but that's a close top 3. Like that's
It's an underrated one.
totally.
I feel like the later Tom Petty stuff doesn't really get its flowers like
Yeah.
it should.
Yeah, I think there's a loss of steam maybe towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe there was just like younger and cooler bands at the time, but like Echo was a really good record.
Oh yeah.
His last one, Hypnotic Eye, was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I haven't actually listened to that one.
It's good.
Probably should.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I mean, it's Tom Petty, so like they're all still good. You know, but like, yeah, I think Echo also gets swept under the rug, and I think that's a really cool record.
Yeah.
But cool. So that's your top 3. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the top 3, I guess.
Yeah, probably. and it's definitely based on well, I mean, I do really like them, but they are just full of hits, and I like those hits.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, on that note, I think we can wrap it up there.
That's great, man.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for being on the show. It's great to see you. And,
Yeah, you too.
Thanks again for being a musician's musician.
Of course, man.